Oh,
Okay,
you changed the.
we are live. OTNG season 3 episode. I don't forget what episode this is. We're
Uh,
playing Kids on Bikes. Welcome back to Kids on Bikes.
Thank you. This is Nils. We have Aaron and Peter here, and so we've had our mid-season cliffhanger due to holiday schedules. We've been off for about a month, and so now we're back with quite a exciting
Conundrum.
cliffhanger. Yes.
We had
So
this solved.
yeah, you thought you had it solved. Would you guys like to give a recap or try to remember what happened last episode?
Um, hmm. I
I
could
remember
I,
I could work
oh, good.
backwards.
we went on the boat,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
and
Yep.
I remember we got into the space where the seal was, the pelt was, the seal skin,
Mm-hmm.
and it all smelled like fresh ocean after the rain. The whole cabin did, despite the fact the rest of the ship was kind of mildewy. And I there was a box there I grabbed too, as a big wooden thing, so I could hit somebody and carried that off too. I have no idea what that is, but we got the pelt. We got out before they could find before they could catch us, and we were hiding. I recall moving from place to place and keeping a low profile. I don't remember the detail.
Right.
And then I
So,
remember we left to go to the fort to go to my fort,
mhm.
and then the guys were there in the woods telling us that if we gave them the pelt, um, Sloane's mom would be okay.
Right, right. Okay. Anything you want to add, Aaron?
I Yeah, I don't remember any of that. I do remember the closing scene where somehow I guess we were heading out to the fort and we were crossing the big field towards the woods and a car was parked out there and it turned on its high beams and drug my mom out of the car.
Right.
Something along those lines, right?
Yeah, yeah. So, at the beginning of the episode, you guys were basically kind of hiding out at home at Sloane's house, and Salty Fish, Captain Salty Sharkbait came and said, "McCormick's men are looking for you. We've got to get you out of here." And he was kind of the spokesperson for the local fishermen in the area. He took you to the VFW hall, and there was a gathering in the basement of quite a number of community leaders. The mayor, principal, the sheriff, Naomi and Anatklash were there, and a number of the other fishermen. And you found out they gave you quite a bit of information. They found out there's been a war going on for hundreds of years between the fish people and the humans.
Hmm.
And the VFW actually stood for the Veterans of the Fin Wars.
Hmm.
And they and Brew and Gabhar were siding with the humans, trying to help them, and McCormick was siding with the fish people because obviously they promised him gold and riches.
Hmm.
And so they this community group pretty much accepted you in as participating members, recognizing that you both gave some good impassioned speeches to convince them that you were responsible and wise beyond your years, and they agreed to allow you to help out. In the middle of it, if you remember, Sloan made some amazing rolls and drove a truck across town to go talk to Sheila and
Yes, yes, that's
warn
right.
her about the sharks.
That's
And
right.
so,
And how dangerous it was to swim out there. Oh my
right,
God, that was some great role playing on Aaron's part. That's right.
right, and Aaron being very insecure around, or excuse me, Sloan being insecure around Sheila, but and then they made it back to the VFW, and they were
Park
snuck back in,
bat.
park parked right in the middle of the parking lot, not even trying to get back in the spot.
Right, right.
Um, and then everyone came up with the idea of creating a diversion by McCormick's house, his hut, and while you two and Salty Sharkbait were sneaking under the dock, under the pier to get onto the boat. Salty kept the one um, crewman that stayed on the boat tied up while you went in and grabbed the pelt and this box with that we don't know what that is yet, and ran off. And as soon as you got back to
That's right. There was that
the
big fight
VFW,
on the deck.
yep.
Yes.
But
And if I remember correctly, I think you,
we ran from that, right? It was
Well,
Captain Shark.
we were coming up out of the below decks as the fight was getting near the where you drive the boat from. What's the name of it?
Oh, it's called the Wheelhouse.
The wheelhouse. It is the wheelhouse. Okay.
yep,
So it's coming near the wheelhouse, which is where we need to get out. And so as he had the guy pinned against the door, I hit him. He tried to hit me and missed, and I hit him with the wooden block box, whatever thing I'd grabbed, and knocked him out.
And killed
Or
him.
no, no, knocked him out. But he right after he was able to yell something, and we got away. But there was some warning given. I recall that.
And then
right,
folks were chasing us, right? I remember.
Yeah,
hmm
yeah. But we were stealthy.
yep. And so you got it back to the VFW, and Naomi and Nutclash took you in their car out to the point that they were going to go into the forest and return the pelt. But that was at that point that the headlights turned on, and you they shouted, "Give us the pelt, and we'll let go of Sloane's mom." And they kind of like threw her out in front of the
The
headlights.
headlights.
Yeah, and the first thing I'm
So
going to do is take a picture of my mom being held captive prisoner by these.
That's right,
okay,
because you're like the evidence journalist
Right.
investigator kind of guy.
Um,
yep,
and I imagine that when it gets developed, it's all will be like super backlit by the headlights and just like these kind of
right,
silhouetted images and
Yeah, yeah.
weird,
mm-hmm,
weird distortions or light exposures and that kind of thing.
mm-hmm,
But it's
right, right,
still going to be cool. Let's
right,
see.
yep. So go ahead and write that down on your list
Yep.
of pictures. Um, so if what you had said at the end of last episode was you guys snuck out of the car away from on the side away from this other car with the headlights on, and then it was at that moment they shouted out and said, you know, give us the pelt and push Sloane's mom out front, and then that's where we ended it. So at this point, you guys are both out of the car and kind of in a hiding spot for the moment. Um, are you? What would you like to do at this point? What's your first immediate reaction from hearing and seeing Sloane's mom out there?
Um, well, it's Spielberg, so it's Spielberg-esque, so I can't do what Danny wants to do, which is scream, "Fuck you! I won't do what you tell me."
Well,
But
they
I
get
can't say it.
super deconstructed.
He's PG-13, so he can't say that. I mean, just yell,
Mm-hmm.
"You guys suck!"
Yeah, something like yeah, like why I'm trying to quiet you down so that we can't don't give away our hiding place.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Um,
Yeah, because
I'm
Danny's
just
the
silently
Danny's the
angry,
follower.
just simmering.
So are you saying you're not shouting out, or you are shouting out?
No, I want
he
to.
is he well
Yeah. You can tell I'm going to, but you're like,
he is, but I'm like stopping him
Okay,
from doing it. Or
so
he
you guys
starts
are
to make a
still
noise, and then I like
right,
clamp my hand over his mouth, kind of thing.
right.
Uh, did we get the seal pelt? Who has the seal pelt right now?
it's in my backpack.
What
Yeah,
does it look like? Like a is it like a snuggie or
it's
something or
no, it's like as if as seal skin had been skinned and mounted,
okay.
dyed, tanned or whatever.
Tanned,
But
tanned. Yeah.
um, I meant dried, but yeah. But it is an unusually golden color. So that's the unique thing about it. But other than that, it looks relatively normal.
And you grabbed a wooden box that has something we don't know what's inside of it, Danny?
Yeah, we just left that behind in the VFW. That's not in my
Right. That's
backpack.
still that was left behind on the in the VFW.
Okay, okay. Were there any markings on that box or, you know,
I don't remember.
okay.
I don't.
Either do I.
No,
Yeah.
I
No.
Literally and figuratively.
just
Right.
remember because Nils said, "What do you see?"
Mm,
And I said, a couple things, but one thing I saw in my mind's eye was this almost like ebony box
mm.
or block. I don't know. It doesn't seem to have an opening or closing at first glance. I just
Hmm.
he grabbed it as more self-defense as anything else, and that's
Have
where
you
I made a
seen
roll to say, do I drop it or keep it? And I right there, like, oh, I'm going to hold on to it.
have you seen the Japanese puzzle boxes? They're
Yes.
like a smooth block of wood with like intricately carved patterns, and you're supposed to be able to open them in
Find the
some
seat.
way.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Lucas got one of those
There's a lot
for,
of really cool. Oh, he did.
yeah, he got one of those for a
Mm.
Christmas gift a couple of years ago, and you know, from my brother who's like, have fun opening it, and he's like, what? Yeah, so that was kind of fun. Though he
There's
does know how to open it now, which is kind of neat.
I went down the rat hole of following some YouTube, looking at some YouTube videos where they have incredibly intricate puzzle boxes like that take hours and hours to open.
Yeah.
And so it's just and very mechanically, it's all hand created, so it's just
Hmm. Hmm.
really cool stuff. So,
Yeah, it is pretty neat.
um, so
So
what was the other thing?
we have the alien puzzle box back at the VFW. Check.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know exactly. A plot point that just presented itself
Uh,
in my fevered imagination.
who is what adults are with us at the at this field, the vacant lot?
Naomi and Anat Clash are the only two that are with you.
Oh, the First Nations peoples. Okay.
Yeah.
How far are we away from
The fort.
From the fort, it's a ways because it's well into the forest.
Yeah, but do we think we could? Because we can get there, but do we think we could lose them in the forest or
Um,
slip past them?
right. There's a good chance. I'll give you a roll to see how close you might have been able to park next to the forest. Um, to see, if from where you are, can you get to the forest quickly, or are you like 100 feet away from the forest and you have to pass the car to get to it, kind of thing. But
Right,
once
right.
you're in the forest, you're more forest kids, and these are sea guys. So um,
Yep. Because
they're
they have to have
you'll
headlights for their cars. That means it's dark enough out. We could probably. They may not even know exactly where we are.
right, yeah. Oh, and just as a time check, just to let you know, it's Sunday evening because this whole thing started on Friday night.
right,
So
That's
just
right.
as a
right?
keeping track of time things.
So I have an idea, but
What's your idea, son?
I'll tease it out a little bit. What kind of car are we driving, or were we in?
It's a heavy, heavy styled sedan.
A Ford Nova.
Sure, I don't know. I don't know car styles as it is, so
Is
even
it
now. So
Chevy
It's a
Nova or
big old.
Ford Nova? I can't.
The Chevy Nova.
Bagenstos used to drive one. Remember?
Yes, he did.
1979.
well, it's gonna be an older model
Yeah, they're shit.
because
So don't worry about that. Oh,
yeah.
older model than 79, so like a 74.
So instead of it's 1979 now, so it's probably early 70s at the latest, if
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
earlier.
It's a 71 Chevy something or other. Old Malibu. It's an old Malibu.
I'm picking Nova in my
So yeah,
mind.
I
it's
like
a
the Nova. It
sedan.
sounds cooler.
Yeah, um, it's a sedan. It's kind of old and beat up. It's 4 door. Was there something specific you were looking for, like whether or not it was a truck or if it was a
Is there a 30 caliber machine gun
ATV or
mounted in the top and a pinhole mount?
exactly? No, there's not. There's not.
Okay, that would be very
Where
helpful.
Naomi and a nut clash?
So they got out on either side of the front passenger doors, and they
Hmm.
said stay in the car, and of course you guys didn't.
We
and
went
so
out
they're
the other side. In fact, we even said
right.
that we got out the other side. So we're the car
Well,
is
yeah,
between
well, I mean,
us
it's a two door,
Yeah.
so they opened the doors and got out, and we just slipped out and went behind the car, right? So,
Yeah,
Right.
we're on
Yeah.
the side. Yeah, with the car is between us and the other guys, the bad guys.
Right. So you're basically standing with the doors open, and they're standing behind the doors, so that they
Right.
have a little protection of from whatever might happen. I don't
there,
know.
I just put the car in the chat.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
I just noticed the headlights. I just shrank the picture enough. I go, it's awfully black. Oh, nicely done, Nils. Nicely done.
Oh, the roll 20.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's
Okay.
it. That's what we're driving. That's the right color, even.
Yeah, the right
Mm-hmm.
shit green 70s four color.
Yeah, we used to have a kitchen that color.
Okay, here's my idea. And as I spin it up, I'll see if Danny executes it with me or not. But I think
Do you want to get an idea of a position of the car first? Of the car, your Nova, in relation to the forest and the other car?
it doesn't matter. I don't
Okay.
think.
And how close
But
are you to?
why don't you? I mean, I figure they stopped,
Okay.
some 20 yards apart or something.
Right. It's more how close to the forest you might be.
Oh, well, so
Yeah.
I'm 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 slipping around the back side of the car towards the driver's side door.
Hmm.
I jump into the driver's seat, fire up the ignition, hit the high beams and stomp on the throttle and like drive it straight towards the other car as fast as my
So
as this Chevy will carry
your
us.
mom's on her knees in front of the
Yeah,
Nova.
I don't me and my mom have kind of this weird awkward relationship. And I kind of blame her for just about everything. But right
Right.
at the last minute,
She's also a jumper.
if she doesn't run out of the way, I'm going to swerve to the left and smash the left-hand corner of which would be the driver's side corner of the other vehicle.
Right. Okay.
And if she
Okay.
doesn't get out of the way, then I'm just going to try to. I mean, if she does get out of the way, then I want them to go smash head to head and like jump out at the last minute. That's what I want to do. Grab my mom and then run for the woods with Danny.
Because as
Okay.
soon as he starts the car, I'm booking. I am booking on
Okay.
foot to the woods into the darkness as quick
Oh,
as I
you
can.
are awesome. Maybe you can go
Oh, I
get.
figured I figured you were striding. I figured you were putting up a distraction.
Okay, are you going to go get
You know where I'm
Dobbs?
going, and you'll meet me there. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And you've got the seal skin, and you
So
can get it
I have
to
the sealed skin,
you can
and I have a flashlight for later in my backpack in the
and you
front
can get it to
to Dobbs.
Dobbs and what's the Brew
Brew.
Brew.
She has a long name. We call her
Yeah,
Brew
Brew because it's easier.
because we're
right.
kids.
Right.
Okay. So first of all, I want to say that in the last month, I've been trying to think of different options of how this is going to go.
And not
And one
this
of
was
them is
not one of them.
this was absolutely not one of them. This
Awesome.
is great. This is great.
What was it?
Um,
Nils. One of the things Aaron and I were talking about last time he and I gamed together was the very fact that he likes being a player even when he's GMing. He doesn't like knowing what's going to happen. He likes to
mhm.
experience it with the players. And I think
Hmm.
I have a feeling you're a lot like that too, in that you don't want to know all the secrets. You want to know the framework, but as to how it happens, that's a big surprise.
Well, actually, I do like knowing all the secrets, and that's why I was so worried about playing this game, running this game. But it's been fun. It's been a good experience. Um, okay, so I'm going to have you roll. Um, so normally you're basically making an attack with this car in some way. So you'd roll your fight. But if you can explain to me why you would be able to use a different stat than that, since if your fight is your lowest stat, Sloan, you might be able to, get a better
Well,
die out of it.
I think the
And,
first.
well, and
Go ahead.
I was going to say, and I'm going to say for it to go off exactly as you want,
Hmm.
um, you need a difficulty of 8.
Okay. So the first, the first, I don't want to
Answer
say
your first point.
argument more, I guess.
Mhm.
Yeah, for my, what is it?
Your first point.
For my first point, it's brains, right?
Mhm.
Because clearly driving a car is more about being able to manually operate
Mhm.
something.
Mhm.
And I've had a
But
little bit
also,
of experience already with the truck. This is still an automatic transmission. I think it still shifts on it's still column shift, so that's about right.
it's
Uh,
also about
Mhm.
understanding the psychology of our opponents.
sure. But the other
Good
one,
point.
the second and more salient point is
Well,
is
well,
is grit. It's about
Mhm.
throwing myself into danger and um, and putting my mom in harm's way and destroying these two vehicles so that they can't pursue us. Um, and throwing myself out of the car before this fiery smash up.
and all for something greater too. That's the thing is you're not doing it for a thrill. This is because something big is going on, and you're doing the right thing. You're not
Right,
just a wild kid wrecking a car.
right, right. So
Right.
there,
Okay.
there's my two propositions. I believe, I
Nice
believe,
use of the words.
I
Nice
believe,
use of salient.
I believe grit um, is desired,
Both.
but may not be appropriate. But brains certainly is.
Okay. Let me second. Let me see here.
Ah, that's pretty grit to me. That's like fucking metal, man.
I'm literally putting the pedal to the motherfucking metal.
Exactly.
As the
Um,
as the as the 8-track cassette fires up with some AC/DC.
That's it.
right.
Now, before it all happens, though, we're back behind the car, and you look down and we're crouched down so they can't see us,
Right.
and you're tying your shoe to make sure everything's good. And you look at me, and I look at you, and you see that I got the backpack, and you look at the woods. You go, pedal to the metal, and jump in the car.
Cool. I dig it.
It's
Yep.
such a kid
Okay.
reaction.
Right, because I now know how to drive. I am a master
Right.
Oh
driver
yeah, of course.
in my
Yeah.
mind.
Right.
But you're
You know
also
everything
telling
about driving.
but you're also telling me move. This is gonna
Yes,
happen.
exactly. Right. It's like go now.
Yeah,
Put the pedal to the metal, Danny.
because I'm gonna do the same thing.
We're putting the pedal to the
Well,
metal.
I would agree with brains, but I think that oh, I was looking for yeah, I would agree with brains, but I think that grit is a bit of a stretch. Um,
Oh,
and but
motherfucker.
there is
It was almost an 8.
uh,
Wait, how much you got? Let me check
I
my character
missed by
sheet.
4. I missed by a lot.
Yeah, but I might have a lot here to share.
I don't
This is important.
I don't have any adversity though.
mhm,
Shit, I've only got two.
So
yeah,
that's only
and
good for +1 each, right?
yeah, and there's a couple of and you don't have the items where you like spend one and get two kind of things to help friends kind of thing. You have protective, which gives you a bonus to your roll, but not there's some where you get like two for one kind of thing, but you don't have
Right.
that. So yeah, um,
There are no failures. There's opportunities for change in story.
right. So okay, so that was that was to yeah. So uh, okay, so what's going to happen is you can now it's obviously not going to go off quite as you expected it. Something's going to go wrong. Um, you can decide if you want to roll a flight check to successfully get out of the car,
Hmm.
or roll a check for your mom to get out of the way.
Ooh.
I
Let
think
me
it's
tell you in a moment.
I think it's for my
Let
mom
me
to
tell
get
you in
out
a
of the
moment.
it's for my mom to get out of the way.
Okay, so let me.
This could be
Uh,
tragic. This could be a tragic story, Aaron.
Yeah, so I hit the throttle and the car goes racing off, but the field
mhm.
is not very level, right? There's
Like a road.
potholes and
Right,
like ruts, and the car is like hits one really hard and does this wild bounce, and I lose all control of the car, but the throttle's still hammered down.
right. Okay.
and I
By the way,
and I've lost all
on
control
your
of the vehicle.
did you mark your adversity?
I did. I'm gonna need that
You're
in
gonna
a
need it
minute.
another roll or two. I'm just
Yeah.
guessing.
Okay. So she will definitely need to use her flight, which is a D6, and I'm going to say she's not tied up, so she can certainly move about. She's just on her knees. But it's obviously a big surprise too, because she doesn't know that you're necessarily there, or obviously nobody's
What?
going to know that you're
Nobody
there.
knows who's driving this crazy car
Exactly,
like a bat out of
exactly.
hell.
So I'm going to say a difficulty of five.
Yikes.
And if there's Peter, if there's some way that you can think of for assisting, um, you have additional adversity tokens, but you'll have to narrate how it is that you're able to help her. Um, and this is something you can decide after Sloan rolls, so you can see how well he rolls.
I have to roll this?
So
Why? Why? Why?
it's your mom.
Only thing I would say is that he puts his pedal to the metal. Um, as soon as the car starts, I yell, "Mrs. Hagan, run!"
Okay, so it's a D6, and you need a five or better, Sloan.
All right, working on it.
So can I help at all? Woo!
Bam!
Yeah, mom rules.
Okay,
She like
and wait,
shakes off the arm of one of the one of the
You're right.
thugs that is, holding her, and she runs barefoot. She's not even wearing her,
right.
her
So
her
that
loafers, her
explodes.
flats flying from the,
Hmm.
yeah. Hmm.
Keep rolling, because that explodes.
What? Oh,
Oh, yeah, because if it's a really huge
oh,
success.
at the top,
Oh,
13.
13 out of 5. Then you beat it by more than
Okay.
double. That means she kicks the
Um,
guy in the balls and runs.
so yeah, exactly. Well, you get negative control. So exactly what is it that you want to do? What amazing thing has your mom done in the process of getting away?
Oh, yeah, she shakes off one of the attackers and flings him in front of the car, and it just runs
Hmm.
him over to the shock and horror of his whatever companions
Whatever.
he's with, right?
Right. And
And
then as
yeah,
go ahead.
and and instead of hitting the car head on like I had planned, the two cars just scrape by the side of one another,
Hmm.
taking doors and scratching doors off and or scraping off mirrors and denting doors and side panels.
Hmm.
Your mom's awesome.
Right. So and
And
I
then
also so so
and then the Nova just comes to like slides the back end around, so now it's sort of like it's like a right angle nose to trunk, and
hmm
like the and just stalls out.
hmm
And then mom's gone.
um,
She's
right. And so you jump out. Danny's already gone. Um, and actually, in the process, the you were going to be um, sending it towards the driver's side, and that's where there were two guys. One was holding your mom
mhm.
to carry him, and the other one was at the driver's side. So the car actually took the other guy out too.
Oh
You don't
shit.
know what condition he's in. So at this point, there's as far as you can tell, there's no other crew members around. Both cars are scraped up, but both are working. And
Naomi and her
uh,
father are like, "What
yeah,
the fuck?"
And it's like the dust,
they're
the cloudy dust, all reflecting in the headlights.
And as everything comes to a halt, these two guys are down. The dust is settling, and the turn signal on the Nova is stuck on.
Blink, blink, blink.
And the radio is stuck on not quite a station. Naomi's standing there open
right.
jawed, and her father just goes, "White people are so excitable."
White people.
Um, so you're able to at this point have a moment. You can like kind of I mean, um, Danny ran off.
I jump out and run too. Like I don't want to get in trouble with. I don't get yelled at
Right.
by
Yeah.
not Clash for wrecking
Exactly.
his car.
And um,
Sorry, gotta go.
so
Yeah, and they when they come
they.
around, the Naomi and not Clash come running racing around to the car, and the driver's door is already open and nobody's in there.
Mhm,
Um, and maybe it catch a shadow of fleeting shadow of me like plunging into the forest.
mhm.
But
And
they
as
know where we're
you, yeah, as you get, like 20 feet into the forest, your mom catches up with you, and she starts scolding you. Sloan, where are you? What's going on here? What did you do? What's going
And I'm
on?
like pulling her, come on, we got to get out. We got to get away from here.
going. Ah, oh,
Okay, okay,
it's like an episode of Stranger
I'll, fo-
Things.
Yeah, she
I'll
can't
follow
even.
you, but
I'm like running and she's like trying to catch me and I'm still running and pulling her and like just, in a dead panic.
right, right. So she finally relents and goes with you and says, "Well, we're gonna have a good discussion after this." So you run on. Um,
I see your
not
mom played
cautious.
by Sally Field.
Sally Fields. Okay,
A
perfect.
40-year-old Sally Fields.
All
That's
right,
what I see was
nice.
playing your mom.
All right.
Or maybe Sandra Bullock. Um, so
So,
yeah, so you run on the three of you, Danny, Sloan, and Sloan's mom. What's her first name?
Sarah.
Sarah.
Sarah. Okay.
Sarah and Sloan. I like
Um,
that.
so you nobody's following you. Naomi and Anat Clash are not trying to follow you. They're obviously trying to like get their car going again, um, and figure out what to do with these injured people. Um,
You
and
got
so
you've gotten
then
so good at driving. I'm really impressed. Shut up.
um,
Don't
so
tell my
you
mom.
you run for a good ways to make sure you're by yourself gone. And are you just going to run all the way to the cabin? Are you going to kind of wait for a minute?
I'm running to the cabin.
I think yeah,
Okay.
because right now we
And
really only have we
and
have one priority, and that's to get this to brew.
Right. Oh, we lost Nils. Nils is back.
yeah, sorry, it was going all robot eye on me.
Lost nails,
He was
and he's
repeating.
back.
Yes, Peter was repeating himself with
Parka,
not
parka,
intentionally.
parka, parka, parka.
Yeah, that's bad enough when I mean to do it.
Yeah. So and your mom's following you. So unless you do something, she's going to be meeting Brew and Dobher herself.
That's fine. That ought
Okay,
to shut her
Okay.
up.
okay. Look, listen. Naomi will explain all this in grown-up words, Mrs. Agan. But we stop for just a second. Look, this is a secret place we're taking you, so you can't tell anyone else in town about it, all right? And you can't tell my parents about it. Do you promise?
Oh, we caught up with Danny now. Okay, perfect.
He said the three of us were all there.
Oh, okay, okay.
So,
Um, she says, "Well, I don't know. What is this all about? I have lots of questions. What's going
it,
on here?"
okay, I'm taking you to my secret place in the woods. It's my secret place where I go. All right? Can you promise not to tell my family where it is?
She
No.
kind of gets
And
a
before she says
knowing.
anything, and I'd say, don't tell my dad.
Yeah, she gets a knowing look and says, "Yes, I understand. I know why you might need a secret place. I won't tell anyone. I promise."
Excellent. I looked at Sloan. I said, she's got to know about him. All right, we got some friends there, and Naomi, she can explain it all in grown-up words later. But you have to understand, this is really weird, and these are friends of ours, and you can't freak out. This is really important.
Are they girls? Are
Well,
you are
not
you meeting girls out here by yourselves? That's
no,
not
no.
acceptable at your age.
No, I think Bru's a grown-up woman. In fact, I think she's older than all of us. I have a feeling she's
Okay,
older
now
than
wait a
America.
minute. This is just completely unacceptable. If you're meeting grown-up women out here, who is this? Is
Okay,
that someone from the town?
she's a friend of Naomi's. Okay, Naomi will explain it all later. I promise.
And mom's pretty intolerant about the
The
Indians in
girls.
town,
Oh, yeah,
because
exactly.
they're like, it's that whole race relations of the 70s.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Very us and them.
Right.
Okay,
So
well,
I've already turned and started walking towards the fort.
right, right. So they, she follows Danny. Sloan, do you follow on?
Oh yeah, I was like,
Okay,
I was over it. I was already moving down the trail as
all right.
Danny was trying to explain all this stuff because, the less mom tries to stop me from doing what I want to do, the better.
The better.
Yeah, yeah. Yep.
How easy to
Okay,
think like a teenager.
so you get close to the cabin, and you see that the secret thing that's put in the secret place to show that they're still safe and haven't moved is still there. So
Excellent.
they're still in the cabin, and you you get close, and again you can kind of see Dobher kind of jumping around inside, looking out the window, and he sees you. Your mom's kind of hanging back because she's obviously not pretty worried about what exactly it is you have what's going on here. So Dobher runs out again, just like he has before, with his little graspy hands, and like runs up and starts like trying to dig through your pockets and everything to see what kind of food you've
Fish
brought this
treat.
time.
Yeah.
I don't think I have it.
And
I think he's eaten all of it at this point. Let me double check my backpack. Oh no, I have three peanut butter and jelly sandwiches left.
Oh, that'll be interesting to see what he thinks of those.
There you go.
so he runs out, and Brew steps out into the doorway, and your mom screams. She says, "Well, get
You I
what?
turn around and go, you
What?"
promised. You promised.
He
I'm
goes,
pointing at her.
"What? What's going on here? They're not. They're dirty. They eat
Dob,
garbage."
Dobbs is a friend of ours. Stay calm. I look over at Sloan. I bet Naomi and her dad will be here soon.
And as Danny's like cuddling with Dobbs, Sloan goes for the backpack and like kind of pulls the sealskin halfway out as Brew comes into the threshold of the cabin.
Hmm. Hmm.
And the whole area around us smells like smells like the ocean right after it rains. That fresh, amazing smell.
Hmm.
Right. And as Brew steps forward, and you come forward with the sealskin, both the sealskin and she start kind of glowing slightly, and it's this bluish green light.
Oh, blue. Okay.
Yes, sea colors.
Sea green.
Um, yeah, sea green. And she said, "Oh, you brought it finally. I've missed this for so long." And your mom is still in the background, like saying, "Who is this?
Mouth
What's
kind
going
of
on here?"
working, trying to make noises.
Hmm.
um,
Sorry, Erica just handed me a bowl of ice cream. Um,
Nice.
so
shit. Where's my
Where's
ice
mine?
cream? I like ice cream. What the hell?
um, Grace needs to talk to me for a second.
All
I'll be
right, no
back.
problem. So
Aaron,
what do you?
so well played. Love the whole car thing.
Oh, that was fun.
So well done.
I was
Yeah.
like, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? Oh, you crash the car. That's exactly what you do.
Totally. It worked. It was
It
perfect.
didn't work out exactly, but I'm surprised now. But now Sloan has to carry the weight of murdering two.
Well, if he's dead, yeah.
I mean, he ran them over.
Well, he ran one over, the other one just got hit. So you might, yeah. But again, yeah, that's a tough one for a kid.
Yeah.
But you saved your mom,
I think the good thing is that he didn't see it happen, right?
right?
Because
Yeah,
the
it's still
vehicle is
abstract.
so out of control.
Yeah, in fact, you probably weren't even fully aware because you were just trying to keep control of the vehicle.
Right, right. So what do we do? I think we bring mom inside the cabin and read her into the
Yeah,
everything that happened from the beginning, like crazy excited kids, like just
yeah,
doing an info dump,
I think that's a good way to do it.
sprinkled in with some of like our most recent D&D games and how those relate to,
Well, because of course,
you know, how we figured out the Norse ruins from the, that we saw on, I forgot the
on
bad
that
captain's
that's
name, on
Morgan,
the,
Captain Morgan.
was it Morgan?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Morgan, I just my
Old man is old man something.
old man McCormick.
McCormick. I had the M right. There's freaking great whites. Uh, I just watched a funny animated movie on Netflix. It's called M asterisk F asterisk D asterisk Z asterisk, I think. Anyway, it's just been uploaded. It's a lot of fun.
M
It's got,
asterisk, what is it?
I think that's what it was called. I'm gonna find it now. Very entertaining. But the show I just watched that was a total role-playing game show was Six Underground.
I don't know that one.
It just came on Netflix, and it's Ryan Reynolds stars in it, and I enjoy him.
I think I like Ryan Reynolds.
Well, most of the time I like him.
Um, we just got Disney Plus and watched Mandalorian, but it also means I have access to all the Kurosawa stuff now. So there's that.
Access to what?
To the Kurosawa stuff, not Kurosawa, the Ghibli stuff.
Yeah, Studio Ghibli, good.
Yeah,
So you can watch.
Kurosawa is the samurai director, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's a different.
Have you actually found it on there? Because I didn't. I was curious, and I don't think I've looked.
Uh,
it's
I've not
MFKZ, by the way, with
MFKZ.
little stars between each letter.
MF.
It was just this weird, wacky sort of sci-fi anime, not anime, but animated. It was a lot of fun. And Six Underground
I
was
know
sort of.
that Disney is the U.S. distributor for Ghibli, but I didn't know if they'd be on Disney Plus. That'd be awesome if they did.
I'd be surprised if it isn't. If they're the U.S. distributor.
Mm-hmm. True. Good point.
Well,
I
one can
learned.
hope. I guess your ice cream was good.
Almost done.
I recently learned of a reference to Pixar in Spirited Away that I wasn't aware of.
Hmm. That's in Pixar's and Disney Plus too. But we just watched The Mandalorian. We finished that, like, which
I
was
heard it was fun.
it was a lot better than I expected it to be. And we really enjoyed it. So that was fun. Um,
Are you talking about the lamp in Spirited Away?
Yes, the lamp that bounces around on one arm and leads them
Mm-hmm.
to Yababa, leads them to
Mm-hmm.
Zeniba.
Right. Yeah, because they were making that at the point that I think that they signed a deal with Pixar and Disney, so that's why they stuck it in there.
Well, that and Lasseter and Miyazaki apparently spent a lot of time going back and forth and hanging out together.
hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Miyazaki,
Miyazaki.
not Kurosawa.
Right. Yeah, but it's very similar.
In Japanese terms.
Well, I mean, they're both the movie directors, so.
They're also brilliant movie directors. It's true. Yeah.
Okay, so we had an
So,
idea
so
about what we're gonna do. We're gonna um, drag mom into the cabin and read her into the whole kit and caboodle, starting from the very beginning when we first met Dobbs to the very end when we stole the when we
Acquired,
when we recovered when we
recovered much better.
when we took back the
hmm
the seal skin, and then but with healthy sprinklings of like our D&D escapades, intermingled in the middle of all of this, and
You
how
saw the same thing with us.
how we were able to figure out the runes from McCormick's statue, because they're just like the Meldebanean but crossed over with the
Mm.
Norse runes from the deities and the demigods. And it's so lucky that I got that book for my birthday just last month, because without it, it wouldn't have, we wouldn't have been able to figure that out, and
Yeah, I'm
be
glad.
a part of the VFW, because when the sheriff brought us into the VFW down in the basement, and um, you know
Wait, the basement in the VFW? Yeah, don't worry about it, man.
yeah. Uh, and
The
then when
basement
we
of the
drove and when we drove Captain Salty's pickup truck across town, but then got stopped by, and then we had to warn, Sheila, and it's just this really crazy info dump, right? Too much
Mhm.
information, but punctuated by moments of concern followed by panic, maternal panic, um, through this whole thing.
So um, she listens to you all, and as you said, has quite a range of emotions as you're telling her all this. And once you've kind of wound down, the first thing she says is, "This is all one of your adventures, isn't it? You made all this up.
And I look at her and
It's a
I say,
game."
I look at her with that look only a very serious 9-year-old can say, Mrs. Agan, does it look like we made up Dobbs?
Or the glowing
And she like
green seal skin.
Or the glowing woman, yeah.
she had kind of forgotten about Dobbs and like turns to look at him and like he startles her again. She kind of like jumps a bit away from him, and then she like storms up to Brew and says, "What have you been doing with my son out here in the woods? Why have you you know what horrible things have you filled his
I
mind with?"
think now that the adults start talking, I think is our clue to like slip out of the cabin and like sit down on the edge of with our backs resting up against the wall, as we have this sort of self-satisfied
Yeah.
uh,
Mhm.
moment that we saved the day, right? That we really
Yes,
did it.
yeah, and
Where you
that
think,
you've come into your own, that you've been accepted as significant community members and kind of a whole coming of age, even though
Even though we're
you
not, right?
haven't
I
yet
mean, and we're not really
you think
community
you are.
members. Well, yeah, absolutely, right. That's the
So as
fallacy in
you
our childhood logic of this whole thing.
exactly.
right, as you as you're sitting there, you see Naomi and Anatklash walk up, and the conversation is still going between your mom and Brew is still going quite um, I
Shrilly,
won't say heatedly, but
shrilly, maybe. What do you mean you
um,
read what?
and great whites, what? And Brew, of course, is remaining calm and trying to politely explain
The freaking
everything.
goddess.
Right, right.
And so Naomi and the Notclash walk um, just basically don't acknowledge you until they pass you, and then Notclash says, "We're going to talk later,"
Sorry
and move on
about your
in.
car.
And
And I'm like, so before he could even.
and so they go inside and join the conversation, which gets even more confused and heated. Um, and finally, it basically ends up with saying, "Let us take you to the VFW. You can talk to other members of the community and have them tell you the same thing
You can
we're
talk to the
telling you.
sheriff. The sheriff was a member.
Talk to the sheriff, the
Talk to the sheriff.
principal, the mayor, and figure out what's going on. But have them explain it to you. But right now, we need to get Dobbs and Brunathua back to the ocean now that Brew can go back as a seal, which go to turn back into a seal and swim back to free people, which sets off a whole nother
Like crazy
awkward train of
confused.
events.
Yeah. Did you
So they
see the
get called.
picture I found of a young Sally's Fields, Danny,
Yeah,
in the
No, it
in the
doesn't.
chat, in the Discord chat?
in the chat.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's her flying nun days.
Oh yeah, right. I remember
Um,
that. God, that was such a great show.
so I so Anaklash and Naomi try to extricate extricate themselves with Brew and Dobhir from the hut. Your mom follows them out, and Naomi says, "Why don't you lead your mom back to the VFW and have her meet with the other people?" And then they leave to take and of course, um, Naomi, I'm sorry, Brew has her seal skin. She hands Danny back uh, your backpack,
Hmm.
and she gives each of one of you a seashell, and she
Oh,
says,
Brew does. Okay, cool.
"Yeah, Brew does," and says,
Oh,
"Keep this."
abalone shells.
Yeah, yeah, abalone shells.
Oh
Well, yeah,
yeah.
she, yeah, and and says, "Keep this in case you ever are in need of me." And then Dob runs up and gives you each a big furry wet hug, and a squishy hug, and he gives you like broken pieces of sea urchin, and while he's giving you the hug, you can feel him kind of like pawing through your pockets one last time to see if there's any more food. Uh, and so Naomi and
Wait a minute.
Anaklash
Why
and
is he
Brew
wet?
and Dobherd, I don't know, to make it gooey and
Oh,
icky.
I know. I
Um,
just that's like
always
that's like
well, there's there's
there's a
streams in
musk.
yeah, it's
the
very
valley.
musky. Yeah.
Yeah. So they walk off, and they're going back, um, basically the way you came, and leaves you, Danny and Sloan with your mom, and she kind of like crosses her arms and glares at you and just says, "Phew,
Come on, Mrs.
now what?"
Agan. The sheriff will explain it. Come on. Knowing full
And
well she has
she,
a crush on the sheriff.
Right, because that's always the
um,
way it goes.
Well, he's a nice guy. He's always treated with respect, unlike a lot of the
But
guys
they're
you know.
both married, right? My dad's not around, and his his wife is,
they were
right?
they were
High
high
school
school sweethearts.
sweethearts, right?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's better and better.
So
Until
um,
1968 when he had to go to Vietnam.
right.
Yep. And mom's the only
So
one that
you walk
still
back.
really understands him. And we could have a whole nother movie right here.
Right, and we'll have you guys play the adults now.
Mm.
One of you can be the mom, one of them you can be the sheriff. But so you walk her back through the forest, um, and back to the car. Now the Anaklash and Naomi have taken their car, and when you get close to the forest edge, you see like the red and blue of police lights out there, and you can see the two cruisemen being loaded up into an ambulance
See, they're
because
gonna be
they were called.
fine.
Yeah, you didn't see how much of the sheet they were covered with.
Hmm.
Um, but and the sheriff's there, and he walks up and kind of like puts his hand on your mom's elbow and says, "Sarah, are you okay?" And she just kind of
Okay, she's awesome.
she like tenses for a second, and then kind of just relaxes and like starts crying and like gives he hugs her and she hugs him, and we'll kind of fade to black at that point.
Perfect.
And she was, they explained to her what's going on. Um, you two are now official
We're fin
military
fighters.
members of the
We're
Hmm.
we're fin fighters now. That's what we are.
Great.
That's it.
You're part of the Children's Auxiliary for the
The
veterans
Fin
of
War.
Fin Wars.
That's right.
And actually, looking at you realized one of you makes your brain check and realize that this is actually the fourth time that there's been this kind of war, this standoff, and so that now is the veterans of the four Fin Wars, the, the Foreign Wars. Anyway, um,
That's awful.
yeah, I don't get it. I mean, nobody here appreciates my jokes either. Um,
I loved it.
so and then so all this happened in the stretch of 2 days, and you go back to school tomorrow, and you see Marty and um,
And I'm not getting in trouble for biting him.
no, you don't.
His brother, right? His brother
Yeah,
Chad
Marty
or something.
Farkas's um, and
God damn
Blaine and Marty Farkas. Um,
Yeah, we see
Blaine says,
Marty, but not Blaine because Blaine's at high school.
right, right. But you know that all the talk is that Blaine's not going to be able to play in the big football game, big homecoming game coming up because he injured his arm.
Mm,
And but there's no further talk about what exactly happened. They just assumed it was everyone in town that doesn't know assumes it's a sports injury.
He's not
Um,
gonna. He's not gonna say a 9-year-old kid bit him to the
exactly.
bone.
Yeah. So and things kind of go back. Other than this big, huge, exciting weekend, things just go back to normal, back to a normal Monday morning. You go back to school,
and I
and
have to work off the car repairs on,
yes,
Because no matter the fact that you're the hero, your mom make you fix
yeah,
to get the car
yeah.
fixed.
So it's all like the lousy, it's all the, the, the gardening and the ditch digging and the
mm,
Sure.
fence
But I
painting
but
down
I join him.
yeah,
I join him because
At not Klosh's house, right? And
hmm
yeah.
but the best thing about it is that I get to see Naomi.
right, right. Um, and actually, after things have kind of come down for a little while, you guys are still going in and playing your D&D games in their community room there, and she comes over and says, "So, tell me about this game, and can you show me how you play it?" So she actually sits down and will play it with you
That's
while
awesome.
she's working there as the
That's
veterans of the
awesome. Yeah, and maybe
Fin
our
Wars.
D&D group gets a little bit bigger.
That's it.
Right. Yeah.
And I walk her through how I'm creating my new shaman character, Dobbs.
He's a druid, really.
He is, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna go
Yeah.
with the name because I like the name Shaman. Sounds cooler.
Cool.
Oh,
Well, thank you guys. That was very fun. I'm glad that I think this was a good ending to it.
Yeah.
I had
it's
Yeah,
ideas
yeah,
wonderful.
to
yeah, yeah.
expand the game even the story even much bigger to the point of also almost being unmanageable. So I'm glad Aaron's surprise came through and prevented me from doing that and made
But
it manageable.
there's always season two.
Yes.
Yes, there certainly could be a season two off of this. So that was,
Damn straight.
I think we've established a good place, right? And
Hmm.
I mean, we don't really know what McCormick was up to, um, and with the sharks and whatnot, and
Right.
you know, not and
Sharks with lasers.
fuck.
Lasers.
Um,
It's the
They're
box.
gonna be what did they? It's gonna be Shark Wars, right? They're thinking about how to launch them into space so that they can attack the satellites.
This is getting good.
okay. The two guys that kidnapped your mom after
Oh,
they
right,
do
right.
survive with serious injuries, but they're also going to be arrested because they were actually kidnapping your mom. But everyone else that was involved was had enough deniability that
Oh, they had
they
enough
still
alibis, so they didn't really.
yeah or well they had the alibi because they were being the rest of the town was attacking their boats but there was nothing they never actually did anything illegal that
that they could
that
be proved or
Mm.
right.
with enough
So there,
evidence.
so
Hmm.
it goes back to an uneasy truce, but there's the by giving Brew her getting her skin back and she's being able to get back into the water, she's able to you know coordinate things and eliminate the immediate deep one threat,
Yeah.
and so there's an uneasy truce between the rest of the town and McCormick and his crew yet again.
Okay.
Well, and there's that whole Sasha, the girl Sasha, right?
Sheila.
Sheila,
Sheila.
Sheila.
Mhm,
Yeah, there's a whole other unexplored point going on there too, and a whole future NPC to interact with.
Yeah. So I think the closing credits are, stills of the scrapbook that Danny
mhm,
and Sloan are putting together with sketches and drawings and the photographs
mhm,
of the Sally Ann being loaded up on Saturday night, the weird statue taken with the
mhm,
flash, the pork receipt, Olsen standing out on Seal Rock in the distance, Danny talking with Dobbs and Brew. That's like the best one.
mhm.
It is. It's the coolest.
And then the one,
We don't
And
show
then,
anyone but each other. We only show each other that.
and then the thug who chased us knocked out with the Nova license plate in the
mhm,
in the frame, and then mom being held prisoner in front of the car's headlights. So another
mhm,
Yeah, yeah.
like super artistically, like some kind of weird, crazy artistic happenstance where it's all like a bunch of silhouettes, but clearly delineated silhouettes, right?
mhm.
Yeah.
So the credits roll and you're looking through and including all the sketches and references
Hmm.
to the
Scribblings and D&D notes,
right.
strength decks,
And then
intelligence, wisdom.
and
Hmm.
then you're looking at the book in the credits, looking at the book, and the book closes and it pans up and there's the black box.
Oh, fuck! The black box! We totally forgot about the black box! Humming and kind of vibrating a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Oh, shit. That's fucking awesome. Don't forget to take a few notes about that, Nils. Or well, at least we have this recording to go back to and think
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Really well run,
That
Nils.
was fun.
Really.
Thank
That
you,
was a lot of
thank
fun.
you. I'm glad you
And
enjoyed. I certainly enjoyed it, and I'm glad we all had fun with it. And so,
I really enjoyed how it told itself in a lot of ways. Some
hmm
authors say that they didn't write the story, that the story was told to them as they were exploring it or whatever. And
Mm,
I very much got that feeling. Like I said, the whole thing with the black box was, what do you see? And I saw in my mind's eye, in the crack of the light as we opened the door, the pelt, but in front of this black box. So there it is.
yeah, it's
There
huge.
yep.
sealed.
Yeah, and I think what's really interesting too is that all three of us are having that kind of experience, right? And then throwing that onto the canvas, as it were, onto the storyboard, right? Pinning that
hmm
up on the storyboard and like, oh, and look at this and how this connects, or what, where does it go
Yeah,
now? And
yeah.
that I thought that was super neat.
Yeah, I enjoyed I enjoyed the collaborativeness of it. I enjoyed, like as the black box as an example. I enjoyed giving you guys the narrative control to say, okay, you tell me that one. That means I don't have to figure things out myself all the time. But also, it just it makes it more of a community story, more of a something we've created together.
Yeah,
Makes
shared
it a
experience.
yeah, yeah. So I know we've kind of already started it, but do you have any other boons or banes for the
Hits and
for tonight or
misses,
the
boons
whole
and banes.
campaign as a whole?
From tonight's session, I really liked the out of control car crash. I thought that was,
It was brilliant. It was
and then
really
Yeah, that was.
the exploding roll having a big, a big effect, right? I like exploding dice a lot. I think that's really fun.
Yeah. hmm
Yeah, I've only ever seen it for like damage and stuff, and that's fine for that. But it really worked well for this, and that it swings the pendulum to say, well,
Even
this
harder,
didn't happen,
right, in one
right?
direction.
This didn't happen by a lot,
Right.
or whatever.
Yeah. And at least
Yeah,
it's not swinging it, and it's swinging it in a positive direction too. It's swinging the pendulum up, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Higher and
You
higher.
succeed by a lot. So what
Hmm.
happens, right?
Hmm.
Which can also be bad if you bite a teenager in the arm.
Truth.
yeah,
Truth.
Yeah.
yeah. That's it's always about you and arms, Peter. Whether
I,
you're losing them or you're biting them or whatever.
I don't know. I got to think about this. There's something going on.
Let's
Uh,
see. Did I have any misses? Did I have any banes? I don't think so.
I think the strength that we
Not having clear memories from the last session, but being able to kind of piece them together through the recap. I think that was not having a chance to go back and review the last session. I
mhm,
think that was my bane.
right. Um, Another thing that I liked was that I mean we played for I guess it's only about an hour
We
now
play,
once
yeah,
the
about an
session's over.
hour probably.
But it's I like how because most of it is all narratively based, we don't have to get into. There's not really much mechanics. I mean, we made one roll tonight, and it was a big roll, obviously. But even in our other sessions where we played it full time, it's still we only still only made like two or three rolls. It was all more just kind of collaborative storytelling, which I really enjoyed.
yeah, I
I like
agree.
how the mechanics were very light and allowed that to occur.
Yeah, and I liked that you kind of leaned into that that improv principle of yes and, right, instead of no, or
Right,
Right.
right.
or
Yeah. That's and I'm sorry. Go ahead and finish your thought.
no, no, that and I'm
No,
trying to sorry, I'll just finish and say that I'm trying to think about how to do that more, or when I say no, to say it in such a way that says like no but or no and or something like that. No and is probably
right.
harder, is like I'm trying to figure out this sliding scale of results, like instead of just saying yes and no, but saying yes but or yes and or no but and no and.
Or or not yet, or not quite like that.
Yeah, that kind of thing. The idea is not fully formed in my mind but I but it is something that I've been thinking about for a little while now.
The Doctor Who role playing game did that exactly. I can't remember. I'm not sure if it was Cubicle 7 version, but one of the versions they specifically
Oh
had
yeah,
a chart that said, if you make it by just enough, it's yes, or if you just make it by one or two, it's yes, but, and if you make it by a middle amount, it's yes,
yeah.
and if it's
And I
a
think
lot, it's yes, and.
I think
Mhm.
that's I think you sharing that idea with me is kind of what then took me down that, like, how do I formalize that more, or how do I apply it to something, something mechanical? How do I, you know, but I don't, and also like that kind of matrix gaming stuff for
Mhm.
the that does some of that, I think. But anyway,
Right.
Oh,
that's
Yeah.
I know kung fu.
Eh,
I know Kung Fu.
Show me.
and I want to get again. Oh, hold on.
Hello, you're on the air.
Turn down your radio. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Ah,
That's stuff that our kids will never understand, right?
yeah. Just like we don't
Um,
understand the. Yeah.
Understand
Right.
what? I understand them. Yeah. So I wanted to give a lot of my ability to do that, you know, yes anding or whatever was again from watching a lot of this hyper RPG channel, and they talk a lot about how it's
Mm,
basically improv theater, and that the first rule of improv theater is if this is true, then what else is true?
right.
And going with that idea of kind of building from one truth to build it out to what else logically would be based on the rules that exist.
Right.
What else would be
Right. And I think that's one thing that I realized in the beginning, because when we started, I wasn't like, I, I saw Peter buy in right away in the story and in the setting and in the tone and
hit it out of the
stuff.
park? Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. And I could feel myself kind of resisting that a little bit, until I was like, fine, this is the game, right? And why am I pushing back against it? I signed up to play this game, so I should play it, whatever it is, right?
Exactly.
Um, so that was, I think that was probably a big miss for me is not getting on board sooner. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I think once I got to that point, you know, it felt better, you know. Um, and
And I
I
think
don't know
that.
why that, I don't know why that, I don't know why I had that reaction. Um,
Hmm.
Maybe it was because I
Well,
wasn't
it's like
running the game or I wasn't sure about the game or I don't know, right? I don't know
But
what what.
it had a lot of foreign concepts. If it helps, I never noticed that was going on with you. I'm also oblivious to most things.
Sure, I think, but I mean that's like more of like a retrospective thing that I had when I was thinking back about the game over the last, few weeks and like,
Hmm.
oh shit, we don't get to play tonight and that kind of stuff, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Mhm. Um, so I've got a couple of other games that I want to try.
Hmm.
One of which it will kind of be like a epilogue to this campaign. There's a set of rules called Murder Hobos,
Hmm.
um, and I figured we could play this game as if it was Danny, Sloan, and Naomi playing the game. And so this is
Nice.
like this is their
Oh,
version. They're
playing
writing their
playing
own.
D&D or something or playing
Yeah.
Well,
is
they've played enough D&D that they think that they can improve upon it, and so they're going to write their own version of D&D or write their own game, and that's what this game is. This is a
Very
fun
good.
a fun. We'll still play it however we want, but it's just kind of a fun
oh
little treat.
like an aside, like
Yeah.
the opening scene is Danny sitting down ready to run the game, right? Because it's
Hmm.
Yeah, this is an off season. It's an off season tie-in.
Yeah.
right.
Or it's a webisode between the
Oh,
between the seasons or something like that. Um, so
we're so
I'll
we're
get
so
you some
21st
information about
century.
that. Okay, so it's basically as gonzo as you expect it to be. Not it's only like 3 pages, so it's going to be real stupid and short. But it's
Oh,
got some
cool.
fun concepts in it.
A little bit of
Um,
Hackmaster going on, huh?
exactly. And then after that, there's I think Aaron and you picked it up. There's a game called Lovecraft-esque
Hmm.
that's a true role storytelling game. There's no role playing because as it's first person narrative, and that narration passes between all the players. So
Oh,
we each have
interesting.
different roles that rotate.
Interesting.
So um,
Yeah,
that one
I'm down for
maybe we.
that. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm down
And then
for all
those
those.
were that was the first, that was my block of games that I wanted to run when we talked about season three. So after that,
Well, I mean, now season 3 is over, so we're getting ready to go to season 4, which is totally fine. And
okay, I was thinking
I
my
think
season three was my running the game,
no, no,
the games that I ran, but however you
I
want to
think
do it.
each game should be a season in its own right, right? Like
Okay,
DCC was a
all right, that makes sense.
season, and and Shadow the Demon Lord was a season, and now
Hmm.
Kids on Bikes was a
So the
season,
next.
and they may be shorter or longer, but
Hmm.
that's how I'm spinning it up on the YouTube channel that
Hmm. Sure.
only we watch or listen to as refreshers
Yeah.
occasionally.
Right. Actually, that was one of the things I wanted to ask. What are your thoughts about sharing this with the wider role playing
Oh, I'm
community?
absolutely. It's a public channel, so I mean, you can
Okay.
if you
Yeah, I
want to
just wanted to
share
see
it
because I.
if you want to share it around with anyone, that's fine. I don't. Um,
We revealed no inner secrets. We told a great story
yeah, yeah.
and some good role playing.
It's a public channel, and I think when we're talking when we all know that we're recording, so we're recording it in a public voice, so not
Mhm.
you know
Right.
not
Right.
talking
Right. Right.
about the
Still recording.
Manson murders that we wish we could have committed.
Right. Speaking of which, are we still recording?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Good. I'm glad that was on the recording. Okay. Unless there's anything else.
Why not go ahead and kill the recording?
Okay.
Signing off, season 3. Thank you all.